All right, guys, welcome back into another NBA DFS video. Going to be touching on this Sunday 6-game slate, starting with the injury news. We can see Damian Lillard is currently listed out, but he is expected to be back today. Now, if he is still out today, then Simons is someone you can play, but as it sits right now, it is expected that Damian Lillard will be back today, so that would mean Simons is probably going to be priced up a little bit too much, priced at a price point that you can't play him. And then from there, not too much injury news that we need to worry about just yet. I will say if LeBron James sits this game, he's currently questionable, then you're just locking in Anthony Davis. Besides that, Ben Simmons is out. Brandon Ingram on the early slate, Kate Cunningham, Desmond Bain, they're still out as well, which has been news that we've heard, already this season. So we kind of know what to do there. Let's move on into the top values for today. So before we get into the values, we'll just show you guys which players are popping up on the model the most. Okay, Jokic makes sense. Grant is popping up, and I think that's solely due to, Damian Lillard still being listed out. Okay, if he's active, then Grant is probably going to be priced up a little bit too much, like Simons. Devin Booker popping up, John Morant, AD, and LeBron. Like, honestly, if you could fit a lineup in with those three, LeBron, Tatum, AD, that'd be looking pretty nice tonight. I like that. But let's just show you guys who are the top FanDuel value plays. So looking at Grant, yes, Grant, once again, guys, this is solely due to Lillard still being listed as out. Grant has been very spectacular, though. If Lillard sits, then I think you could easily just go Simons, Grant, and Yusuf. Okay, that'd be the easy route to go. But as it sits right now, especially on FanDuel where he's priced up, I don't know if he's a must play if Lillard plays. But Nurk, either way, I think Yusuf is going to be someone that you can roster. His price point on both DraftKings and FanDuel is extremely cheap, and I don't really get it. I don't think his role is really going to change too much. He is an upside play. Yes, the risk is always going to be there with him for like only 25 DK points, but he is someone that could easily break the slate, could easily go for 40 DK points, and I kind of expect that tonight, and you kind of should expect that every night. It's just a matter of the very bad one-off games that he has, and even this game, if he gets one more basket, it's a solid night, gets a double-double, he gets 2 more points, and you take that at this price point. So he is someone on both FanDuel and DraftKings I think you should be going out of your way to play. Trenton Watford as well, he's someone you could look at value price point-wise, I don't mind that. Lamar Stevens, let's see him. Someone that's been getting run, I don't think you need to play him. Hopefully there's better value that opens up as the slate goes on. Kevin Huerter's not terrible. Nothing too crazy here. I will point out Alex Caruso. He could be starting again. He started for IO in the last game, and he could be someone you're looking at. And I do want to touch on something as well, kind of injury-wise, value-wise as well, is looking at the Chicago Bulls. If Javonte Green is going to be out, he started last game, played, 20 minutes, and if he's going to start again, I think he's a great value price point play on the slate because, 25 minutes or so, he could easily get 20 DK points at that price point. That's extremely interesting to me. If he sits, that should open up a little bit more playing time for Patrick Williams. Now, he has been getting a lot of minutes recently and hasn't been all too productive, but if we get news that Green is out, Patrick Williams at this price point would be a decent value price point play. So for now, I will put in Patrick Williams just because he's the higher price player, okay? And I don't want to give you guys a lineup in which you can't work if Green is active. But if a Green is active, then you just can sub in Green for Patrick Williams. Let's look at DK value side. So Dario Saric. Wow. Let's see here. What are his minutes? Projected 20 minutes. Gotta look that up. Oh, that's on the early slate. Here. DK main. There we go. And then we get it. Yeah. Nerd popping up there. Green popping up there. Keegan Murray popping up there. Dylan Brooks. Kind of just stuff that we would expect there. Yahoo, let's just take a quick peek. Yeah, nothing too crazy with Yahoo. So let's get into the lineup builder. We'll show you guys the ownerships. All right, so starting with DraftKings, which players are getting the most ownership right now? The Portland players, that makes sense. Value price point wise makes sense. Zach LaVine at a cheap price point. That is someone that certainly pops up, especially in that matchup. Kyle Kuzma, don't mind that. DeMar DeRozan popping up, kind of a cheap price point for him. Should be locking in around 40 DK points for him. Nikola Vucevic probably locking in 30. I mean, you guys could put a kind of cheaper lineup out there and probably start with DeMar, Vooch, and LaVine and probably get to around like 110 to start. And that's not terrible. Okay, let's look at FanDuel. All right, so more of the same, but we are seeing Yusuf just very cheap on FanDuel compared to DraftKings. A player people are going out of their way to play. Same thing with John Morant, a little bit cheaper there. Kyle Kuzma, people are liking. Zach LaVine, still pretty cheap across the board. Porzingis actually getting a lot of ownership. He's someone I like on DraftKings given the price point. We can see none of the big value plays are popping up too high owned, which I think will be a good thing. So let's get into the lineup process, then we'll be getting out of here. So I already have Patrick Williams and Yusuf in there right now. Once again, I want this to most likely be green, just so you guys know. But we'll go guard position to start out with. So I do think John Morant's a little bit priced up here on DraftKings. Probably not someone you need to play there. Kyrie Irving, I do think we can get 40 DK points out of. Last 2 games, he's done that. Ben Simmons is no longer there. I think that'll mean a little bit more usage going to Kyrie Irving. Should be a fine play at that price point. Garland could easily go for 40 DK points. But the one player that I like is probably going to be Hayes. Hayes has been a pretty consistent fantasy producer over his last 4 games. 27 DK points wouldn't completely kill you, I think, on tonight's slate. But I like the upside to go for 39, 37, 45 DK points. It is a cheap price point for that as well. If you can get like around 40 DK points at 6.3 tonight, I absolutely love that. That should be a very kind of strong upside GPP play. Royce O'Neal, we're probably getting around 30 DK points. Don't hate that. Not something I'm particularly going on my way to play. Quickly is always someone that's kind of in play for GPPs. Could easily go for 30 DK points. Wouldn't be too shocking. I think that's a high upside GPP play for you on the slate. Andrew really had a good game in his last game. The minutes have been there for him recently as well. It wouldn't be shocking to see him go for 20 plus DK points as well. I kind of like him as a price point play as it sits right now. Could that change? It could, but I like the fact that he has been playing more minutes lately. And it's tough to say yes. It's probably because the last 2 games were blowouts, but at the same time, looked good. Might have earned himself a little bit more minutes as well, but certainly someone you could be looking at. And then at the forward position, guys, I do want to pay up for these guys. Tatum, I think, is going to be getting around 50 DK points tonight. Kind of had a bad game last game, DK wise. So I think natural regression, he should have a much better game. Then you got LeBron James. If he's active, it's going to be tough not to play him going against Washington, which is going to be a great matchup for him. As we can see, really one dud over his last 4 games, and he's had the upside to go for 6. Would be a cheap price point for him as well. Jaylen Brown should be locking in around 40 DK points with the upside to really go off as well. I kind of like the idea of stacking the Boston Brooklyn game. From there, you guys saw DeMar DeRozan really popping up there. He should be a safe price point play, but also a very high upside price point play as well. The matchup with the Kings is not something that you're worried about. He's a play that I certainly like. Kyle Kuzma was someone that was popping up a lot. Can he have a good game tonight? He certainly can, coming off of 2, I guess, okay games. Not DK wise, 26 DK points, that wasn't great, but prior to that had been very consistent fantasy producer. I don't mind him. Price point is strong, but you can get Julius Randle at a little bit cheaper with just as much upside. And kind of a little bit more appealing of a matchup as well. So I kind of like Julius Randle a little bit more than him. Jeremy Grant, yes, if Lillard does sit, then you're just looking at him. Trenton Wofford, the guy that's popping up the most as a value. I'll plug him in there for now. If we need to adjust that as the day goes on, we can. I'm actually going to put Patrick Williams in the small forward spot, and I want this to be green. The reason I'm putting Wofford there is because I really want to be on Yusuf on tonight's slate. Now, Porzingis is in a great spot as well. That's kind of the issue with this slate. But I think we can play both those centers. Okay, going against the Lakers, this is going to be a strong matchup for him. It wouldn't be shocking to see him have one of these huge upside nights that he's had. 3 straight games of over 40 DK points, and I just wouldn't be shocked to see him have a really, really big night. The build that I'm putting out here for you guys for the first look build is a upside based build. I'm really trying to chase upside here. Okay. Nick Claxton, I'm fine with as a price point play. I think he'll go for around 30 as well. Should be a strong price point. Bagley. Okay, he finally had 30 minutes, and if he's going to get 30 minutes, also has the upside to go for 40 DK points, and also a great GPP play on tonight's slate. I do think the path is going to be to play 2 centers on the slate. So upside wise, maybe you're looking at him, and then we just got to fill in with shooting guards. Maybe Jaylen Brown, and then you still have a decent amount left over, and then you can go Kyrie Irving. So ideally, we're going to get at least 35 from Hayes, 40 from Brown, maybe 20 from Patrick Williams or Green, about 40 from Randall, hopefully 40 from Yusuf, and then 40 from Irvin, maybe 15 from Watford, hoping that better value opens up. And then Bagley, that's anywhere. This is a low ceiling or low floor, but a decently high ceiling build. Okay. A GPP build, just so you guys know. First look build as well. Make sure to be in the Discord chat before lock so that you guys can get the updates as it comes throughout the day. But that's all we have for you guys for this video. Just want to remind you guys that if you want access to any of the tools that you saw in this video, make sure to click the links in the description below. If you guys want to make sure to check out the Discord chat as well. That gives you some great information before lock, touches on the injury news before lock as well. Links to that in the description below as well. All right, thanks for watching and good luck tonight.